Hi YouTube, it's Nate. So I'm going to do a short video on a backspin timer. This is an old school backspin timer. What you use a backspin timer for is large pumps like this guy right here. That's a 200 horsepower deep well. And what you want a backspin timer for is, so if you turn the pump off and then you turn it right back on again, it'll go through this timer and wait before it turns all the way on. So it'll just wait here on these contacts right here. So it gets power. It'll have power once you say it needs power, and then it'll come down to here and it'll wait until the timer is up, and then it'll go to there. And the reason for the timer is when these big pumps go off, they spin backwards. And if you don't give it time to finish spinning backwards, you'll spin off the shaft and you'll have a really big problem. Okay, so the first thing you want to know is what voltage you're working with. So you're going to test the voltage. This one's a 3-phase voltage monitor, 380 to, it says 4, but it's 480. And the way to do that is just to test between here and here. Right now this is dead, so it's not being used. And this one's being fed off of a motor saver. Talked about that in another video. And that's pretty easy. It's just grabbing two legs. So you grab this pink one, grabs the middle leg of the motor saver, boop, and this pink one is actually grabbing power from the normally open portion, and you can see the normally open little symbol back there in the back. Normally open, normally closed, really easy. So you just take these two guys out, and then you take these guys two guys out, and I'll show you from there. So once you get the old delay timer out, you could mark these if you wanted to, if you didn't remember where they went. But if you've done it 150 times, you don't really need to mark them. You know, it's when you start looking at panels like this and they've got all these wires everywhere, it's confusing at first, but it's really not very confusing. It all makes sense. So anyways, that's one half of the power comes off of the normally open, and the other half comes directly from the top there. Easy. And then you take one jumper off of this one down to the coil. And I'm going to install the new one, and then I'll show you what I mean. I want to mention this really fast. If you're going through some really thick steel, I suggest getting some of these screws. They're badass. And you see it's really thick steel. So, badass. Okay, so here's the finished product. What we did is I actually replaced a few wires because they were brittle and they had crappy connections. So we still have the same thing though. We come in the common side with the power. Power comes up. It comes on one side of the 480, comes over and down and into this side of the normally open contact. This is the voltage regulator. So if this thing sees a voltage that is lower than what we have set right here, then it'll open this contact right here. So let's just assume that power comes in, it's 480 volts, it's all good, comes down, goes into this normally open, and it closes because the voltage is good, so it goes up, and it comes to the top of this thing, it gives it the other half that it needs, the other half comes down and goes in right here. So the other half's sitting there, so it gets its other half, comes down. Then this thing is on a timer. See, start delay. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, or 10 minutes. I always do about 6 minutes just to be safe. And when 6 minutes is up, it'll close this contact and it'll finish the control wire down. And that is it.